Welcome to today's Crypto and Stocks TA live stream. It is AM here in the USA, so I'm trying a different time today. It's about 11:46 AM Eastern Time, New York time. And so this is a analysis live stream. We're going to start with crypto and stocks. Let's see here. About lunchtime in the stock market right now. So if you have any requests, go ahead and type it in the chat right now. We'll do a live stream analysis for educational purposes. But I'm going to go ahead and start with BTC, Bitcoin, USD. So obviously, 2-3 days ago, depending on time zone, we had a flash crash. And we are flagging right now in the price. Interesting, though, that we're getting this bounce. So let's get our big support and resistance levels. Still resistance at about 53,000 approximately. Let me erase this. For Bitcoin, 53,000. Resistance is still on that top side. Our line in the sand right now in support is 43,258 down here. All right, if you're just playing between those two levels, let's get one more support down here, just in case at 40,000, because that is the 200 EMA support range down there. And once again, we always draw this trend line. So we lost that trend line. Top side resistance trend line. Okay, and then we just move in with the price. Just move in with the price. So yesterday we start to see a possible type of upside down head and shoulders, or it could be interpreted as a bear pennant or bear flag. Okay, so if we just zoom in, we're on the H1, the 1 hour. Okay, if we look, we're talking about this price right here. So in the blue, so if we look at this, just put our trend lines, you can see why we broke out. Right? Because when you get this essential symmetrical triangle, essentially, you can measure this. Very simply, somewhere about 4%, right? So the 4% target would be 48,000. If we want to do conservative target, 2%. And the breakout, 2% would be just above where we are right now, 47,291. All right, the downside targets are also true. So 2% down from this breakout would be 45,000. 4% down would be 44,000. All right, so these are the support, the resistance and support levels that we're playing off of. This resistance zone and this support zone. And this is just a whole number support down here. So again, a tightening after we crashed, flash crashed here. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, then a potential trend change. High, this is lower high, but then we had a higher low. So it's tightening equilibrium, tightening, tightening, tiny bull break for now. Tiny bull break for now. As such. All right, so what remains to be seen is the higher high and higher low uptrend reversal going to remain intact? Will it remain intact for basically the next couple days, several days, heading into next week? That's what we want to watch out for. Also, if we want to use some EMAs, okay, we just got a baby EMA up cross, so I wouldn't be surprised if within the next 4, 8, 12 hours, we pull back to test EMA support at above 46,000. Usually that's what happens. Unless we have massive bull volume, which at the time of this video, we're not seeing that yet. New York's about to head into lunch. Right, so we also have our support resistance points up. The good thing is, though, is that this MACD EMA on the 1 hour H1 is open. That's good. The 4 hours building momentum on the MACD. The daily RSI has reset into the middle. That's fine. That's all normal. So this all happened right in the morning today. just before 6 a.m. New York time, we had the bull volume come back in, the bull break. So if you're a day trader, just want to watch out for some potential pullbacks, right? On a 15 minute, this is actually looking pretty interesting, right? We were getting chopped for 2 days straight on the 15 minute on Bitcoin, but finally we might be getting somewhere. So this is a little suspicious to me, right? So I want to watch out for that. So again, Bitcoin, if we zoom out, okay, I have my big idea in my profile in terms of big picture on daily. So this is not day trading anymore. It's more swing trading investing. Is that if we were in a uptrend, right? On this side, it's going to be a little messy. Here, high, low, high, low, high, low, high, right? Failed out of this trend line, crashed, lower low. So where's the lower high going to be, right? That's what bulls are all trying to figure out right now. So probably under 50,000 is the first target, right? For the next like 1 or 2 weeks. So we want to watch out for that Bitcoin. And that this kind of analysis applies basically for all altcoins as well. Because if you look down the watch list, and we've been trading for a couple days, right? Like EGLD already up 24%. So they had a bull break. Waves as well. Atom continuation, right? Band OMG with the bounce today. Tezos. Algo with the massive continuation. ICX, right? So all of this is the altcoins are already bouncing for past couple days, right? So just keep that in mind. Okay, we have a request. Thoughts on DIS? Is this Disney? Just to double confirm before I actually start. Disney. All right, so DIS, Disney. First off, what I would do is just get our levels, meaning like support and resistance levels, okay? So Disney, it's kind of right at the resistance zone right now, 187 resistance up here, 187. The next set of resistances, 197 and probably hold number 200. Also 191 in there. So we get that top side resistance levels. Then support on the downside would be 184, 181. The big one down here, 172, 169, and 162. So I put a lot of support levels just to future-proof the chart. Now, let's get our trend line on the bottom side. All right, so we know this. I'm going to draw this yellow one here so you can see, right? So yeah, we did have this kind of sideways consolidation and a wedge pattern. Support was way back here at 173, right? I'm using a line chart to make it easy, right? So is this going to be a breakout? Maybe, right? It already failed 3 times. So we need some strong bull volume, right? We might get a higher high, and we need to retest this resistance right here, 184. Okay, so we need to back test that. I wouldn't be surprised if we rally, back test, and try to go up. But remember, the broader market indexes, if we pull back strongly on Dow Jones and S&P 500, this will probably fail, this breakout. The chances will be higher. All right, so let's zoom in a little bit more. Because he asked me for 15, 3, 4, 3, 5, 15. So once we know that, have that in our mind. Just checking. Some EMA crosses up. Okay. So the good thing though is we do have EMA crosses up on multiple time frames. So let's check the hourly first before we jump to 15. So again, we have our golden up cross on the EMAs on the 1 hour, the H1. But again, keep that in mind. We just broke this resistance level right here at 184 in blue. So what I would be looking at is the higher low, higher high pattern going to continue on the price in white? That's all we need to look at for is this higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. It just double topped right at 187 this morning, right? And we're pulling back right now. So if we were really to get some serious volume on this, we should have broken out through the 187 higher to retest like 190 up here. But that did not happen this morning. So that's a little bit suspicious. Okay, now your request, the 15 minutes. We could draw an intermediate trend line right here. I'm using the close prices. All right, so I would not be surprised if we pull back to this trend line right here at 186.03. 186 right there in that little blue dot. 186.03 right there. Again, if we're looking at RSI momentum, we are losing a little bit of momentum. So it's kind of mixed. If we're looking a little long term, right, we pulled back. This is going up, so that's where we're getting a little pullback here as well. The intraday momentum has faded a little bit, but you could see why we popped up, right? There's that bullish momentum, and we popped up. So then we look at your 5-minute. Okay. If we're trying to go long, and again, this is not financial advice. This is just educational. So I know there's a lot of colors. If we're trying to go long, we're not in oversold territory yet. So this could pull back anywhere above 185 is still a higher low on the day. You're asking for 3-minute as well. And momentum's building. If I even go on a 1-minute or 2-minute. So it looks like to me, if I look at a 5-minute, it looks like this is beginning to fade a little bit because we did have that higher low pattern in the morning, the reversal at 8:10 on my time. So lower low, we could get a little bit of a bounce, right? But we want to see really, really oversold conditions for that bounce on the RSI. Right now we are here, finding support right above 186.35. It's holding 3 times. That's a little interesting, right? But the moves here are unless you're playing like options or something, it's pretty small moves. But we haven't had that like flash crash feeling. You know what I mean? That probably won't happen on Disney, but just compare the left side of the price action to the right side. We were having nice uptrend. S&P, this is tracking the S&P, obviously. So if you look at the S&P chart right now, it's the exact same thing. We rallied in the morning. We faded it right here. And then we're consolidating. So I would actually watch the S&P. I'm looking at the chart right now. The 5-minute is like literally almost the same. So you want to watch out for that. It could bounce. So right here, if it break above 186, then it might bounce. So, and we do have a double bottom on the 5-minute. So that's a maybe, right? It's kind of like building a case for itself right there. So it's really up to somebody how much risk they're willing to take, right? But the percentage moves are kind of small unless you're doing options or something, right? So that's an interesting chart. This actor's lawsuit. That's a good point. That news is not on TradingView. Okay. So yeah, if there's some kind of lawsuit, that'd be really interesting for Disney. What's happening there? 180C weekly. Okay. Okay, great. All right, next. Hope that answered some of your questions. If you guys have more requests or questions, please go ahead and type in the chat box. Ethereum USD, 5 days. Could you clarify that, please, a little bit? Is that 5 minutes or the next 5 days of price action? So let's go ahead and just quick reminder right now, New York, kind of on lunch right now. It's 12 o'clock p.m. New York time. So some people are eating lunch. Okay, so Ethereum USD, next 5 minutes. Okay, next 5 minutes. All right, so just real quick, just get our super resistance. So 4,000, it's okay. 4,000, 3,000 down here. 3,022 for support, 3,582 for resistance. Then zoom in. Okay, so again, right, 1 hour, 15. So I'm gonna start on the 15 for you right here. So if we look at the pattern, right, is this upside down head and shoulders? Maybe, right? So the neckline looks pretty easy to see right there. Pretty easy to see right here. 3545, 3,045, 3545, right? So if you measure this, 6% to the upside on a longer term target, 3764 up there. If it fails, probably coming down to like 3194. All right, so we zoom in a little more. Okay, our side is a little choppy. But we do have the 5-minute up cross, but these are a little bit choppy. So what I would do here is educational is look for the trend change because it's so choppy, right? You just put 2 lines as a box. Just watch for the break. So 3550 on the top side and the bottom side 3459. So like these 2 levels right here, boom and boom. Okay, the good thing is yes, we have a very, very short term EMA up cross on the 5-minute. We'll zoom in into 1 minute. So we did have the nice rally with the Bitcoin rally. So the correlation is there in this morning. And then we're starting to fade down right now. Lower low, lower high, low, lower high. There's a little equilibrium and then a bear break. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, right? So it's technically in a 1-minute downtrend. Watch out for that. Okay. Yes, someone could also, though, make the case, well, we just poked out of it, this little channel on the 1 minute. Just a little bit to the upside, right? So it's so choppy right now in terms of direction. Like this is just such chop for past couple days. So I would zoom out a little bit. Like what I'm personally looking at is we had the bear break on the hourly. Can we resume the uptrend, right? So the upside down head and shoulders looks possibly a little bit more clear on the 1 hours and the not so much the 4 hour, but 15 on the 1 hour, right? If we zoom out here, maybe, right? So those targets are already on the chart. But if we want to go up long, this needs to make higher highs. It's got to go up, high, low, high, low. We need a breakthrough today, or not today, but in the next couple days. So to answer your question, next 5 minutes, yeah, this could be a 5-minute setup, possible, right? But again, we're going to need to track Bitcoin. If you're on the 5 minutes, just track Bitcoin very, very closely. Right? So if this is true, it needs to break out. Let me use a different color. It needs to break out, possibly retest once, 3,500, and then try to retest the resistance up here. If we break resistance, like if we maintain this uptrend momentum, it's going to be great for Ethereum and for altcoins. We need some bull buyers, though. Where are the bulls at? Where are they? So, also it could be the time right now. So I hope that helps. Hope that's clear because yes, you do have this little baby descending wedge breakout, but then if you look at the past like 24 hours, it's been such chop, right? So to me, this is like a parallel channel. It's like a parallel channel. Well, not this tool, but here. Not including this little one candle that came out. So you could also look at it this way. The top resistance, the bottom support, and then the middle heart line. So yeah, you just try to retest resistance 1, 2, 3 times on the 5-minute. Support 1, 2, 3. This one kind of failed, but 4 times on the bottom. So then we retest the heart line right now, 30 minutes ago. So if it's gonna go up, it would probably just go here to the top resistance until we get a clear bull break on one of these, like if we're going to go really up or really down. So Hope that helps. All right, if anybody has any more requests, please let me know. Kind of went really long on those 2 or 3, so. Before I move on, let me just do SPY. Okay, let me just do SPY SPX because stock market is open right now. So SPX, all right. The big thing right now with the daily, so I'm looking at a daily chart, S&P 500, is there is resistance. There is resistance right here, 4,500. Erase this. 4,500 rounding, right? You see those 2 candles? Then we have our support from yesterday's low, 4,500. And then there's another one down here of support, 4,470. So if we draw our trend line on the bottom side, you can kind of see it might be tested. We might pull back on the S&P. It's possible. Right? With all the news that's been happening the past couple days, this would make sense. This is a support down here on the much longer term. This is a 1-day chart, daily. So if we're in the uptrend, we were higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. High. We just established that higher high. This is the pivot point right here. So it would make sense we try to test these 2 supports. The first one, 4,494. Second one, 4,468. If it goes really bad, 4,380. Right, so so with the uptrend right now, we need to stay above 4,471 on the uptrend. If not, this uptrend might be at risk. So what I mean is higher high, low, HL, HH. HL needs to stay here and then find higher high up here in the upper 4,500 range. If not, lower low over time, lower high, retest, lower low, probably here, probably bounce here. If it's bad, they break down. So you can see how that could form, right? That would be bearish for a lot of stocks. But it's right at EMA. So EMA support. So it's going to test this range for the next probably week or so, right? Because every time we pierce down to the trend line support, we bounce. So I'm expecting that to happen one more time, and unless something really bad happens with the world, basically. So, news-wise. So this is a really interesting longer-term support spot right here, 4,435. And even today, it's kind of telling. Try to save. Yesterday, we tried to save it, right? Bears try to push down, and bulls try to save it, and the bulls try to rally off support, but it failed today. So there's a clue here. There's an interesting clue. We reversed. And then this happens. But the day's not over yet, so I'm not going to call that as final. We're only halfway. So it's interesting. Okay. Unless anybody has requests, we'll just quickly do the Dow Jones. Dow Jones is similar, except the bottom trend line support has already been kind of violated. I drew it already. So you can see here, right? There's resistance on top and then support on bottom. We already fell out of the trend line. Okay, below the EMA. So it's different than SPY. And you'll see this on CNBC. They've been saying, yes, we've been down for 3 days in a row, but then also technically we're below the EMA and rejecting down from it. So that's suspicious, right? That's a yellow flag to me on the day chart. Because we went from high, low to lower high. We've been consolidating and potential head and shoulders if someone's really sensitive to this. Right, so if that's real with the neckline, let me measure this. 0.73% to 1.5%. So basically this whole bottom support could be tested. But it's only 2 days, right? But if we're thinking about the trend, are we witnessing the trend change reversal? It's possible, right? Because we just went uptrend, lower low, lower high. So if this is real, we're probably going to retest this bottom spot, 34722. Bullish case is we could bounce up from that and retest the topside resistance of this wedge or the resistance up here. But if not, bad case scenario is we could fall down and test this resistance on this side. But that's serious. That would be a kind of extreme. But it's possible, right? Just be prepared for both scenarios. So we could do NASDAQ. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to QQQ, the Qs, NASDAQ ETF on the daily. So NASDAQ's different, a little different than the other two we looked at. Get a bottom trend line going, longer term. All right, so you can see here already the trend line support is somewhere in this 375 range. Here, I want to be a little accurate. Somewhere right there, 375. And so we can draw some trend lines on the top, box in our price. So you can see we're at that resistance on the upper side, just like S&P, right? High, low, well, high, low, high. So we established that consolidation. Can you guys see that? Like 4 or 5 days to the right. If we were going to have real strong bull volume, we should have broken out by now, retested this, and continued to higher highs. But there's so much news that's happening right now. So if we're going to fold over and fade down, then X marks the spot. 375, probably. The second support will probably be like 369. So bull case, again, I'm not trying to say everything's bear. It's just bull case, we need to break up higher, above resistance, retest the resistance or the trend line, and make higher highs. If we're just going to keep, going up. If not, though, we could test this, probably bounce like that, or like that. So we're watching this very closely. This is related to crypto, right? Because if all of a sudden the entire stock market starts fading down, it's going to cause volatility in the crypto market. All right. One thing I will point out, let's just go to commodities really fast. One thing I will point out with US oil is US oil kind of looks like Bitcoin, or they're influencing each other. They're both commodities from a certain point of view. So we were in a strong uptrend on oil. All right, let me just erase this. We were on a strong uptrend on oil until mid-July. Then the trend changed. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. So this is very interesting. The past 3 months on US oil, right? Sort of looks like Bitcoin on a miniature scale. A little bit. That's why I'm concerned with Bitcoin. Is it just going to be like a lower high for all commodities? And then we're going to fade back down, pull back down. Is this about to happen? Right? Because we're at the top of this resistance trend line. So if that happens, negative 12% might be in the cards for US oil. It might not go straight down, but over time, right? Just repeat of 1, 2. Is it going to happen again? 3. Because if that happens, that would have some effect on commodities, right? So we just want to watch out for that. But if not, bull case would be, because it did EMA up cross, bull case would be just at the breakout above this, test like 50, 51, retest, and make higher highs to save it. So really want to watch out for that. Those two. It's really interesting. Just two levels. Here, 50. There's somewhere in the middle, 45. Where 40 probably is the downside target for oil. Let's do gold really fast. Do Forex. All right, so I already drew this yesterday, late night stream. So gold, spot US dollar on the Oanda chart. This is a daily, just to get our levels and our trend, so we understand where do we stand with gold. Is gold has basically been in a longer term downtrend. If you even switch to a weekly, okay. So lower low, lower high. Someone could say yes, it's equilibrium, but if you look at the angle of the triangle, it's a descending triangle, basically long term. So lower low, lower low, but it made higher high, higher low. So this is try to do a reversal. So a bull might be thinking, wait, okay, is this potential upside down head and shoulders or support? Even though this is kind of not the ideal scenario, there was not enough down before this. So maybe, right, the neckline is not that visible clear as well. So I would just say maybe the more obvious one is the double bottom weekly support here. But then we did reject, we didn't even get to the target of 1854, 1854, and we rejected down. So very mixed right now with gold. Okay, so these lines up here, the bullish target would be hopefully trying to hit this up here 1854 and retest and break out of here. If not, then I would anticipate that pulling back to 1733 or 1687, which has been tested almost 4 times here. This upper trend line has only been tested 2 times. So we zoom in really, really closely. You know, the case can be made. All right, is this higher high, higher low, low high, low, equilibrium? So this is even tightening even in itself right here. So if we draw this like intermediate one, right, kind of messy, but 1759 would be that lower support on that triangle. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. Okay, I'm just checking the SPY chart beside me. All right. So let's get back to some crypto. If anybody has any requests on anything, stock or crypto, go ahead and let me know in the chat. I'm probably just going to go 30 more minutes as people come back from lunch for the U.S. stock market trading. So I'll do a little bit of Bitcoin. I think I did some indexes a little too much. So we did Bitcoin, we did Ethereum. Let's see what else we have. Let's just pick a big mover. Okay. And we'll analyze that. Probably Algo and Atom. So let's do those. Right. But again, this is not financial advice, just educational. So Atom, ATOM, USD, Cosmos. So start the daily. Why is this thing going up a lot? It's because it's a stronger altcoin. So first off, how do we even get here into this spot? Well, this could be some kind of upside down head and shoulders. You measure that on the day chart, 40%. Boom. We went double the target, basically, before we double top. Then we had a double top over here, right here. Okay, and then we had the flash crash. But even in the flash crash, some altcoins, if you really look at the chart, like Solano from my memory, Cosmos, didn't pull back as hard, right? Or recovered faster, either one. So we tested that 50 EMA. Okay, and what happened last night, what I started noticing is we started making a potential Morningstar pattern, right? You have this candle pattern, this, and then this third one would go up. So that's why that's happening. The triple pattern. So, but if that, is not somebody's style, then if you just zoom in intraday, I was calling this attention to this in a stream the other day. Is again, it's all altcoins looks almost the same. Is after the flash crash, low, high, low. This one, lower high, but then this made a higher low. So the clue is right here that something is happening. Okay. And then we got follow through, the trend change, right? This whole left side is downtrend. Then it went high, low, high, low. So trend change. And then if you draw the resistance line, you could see the breakout right here, the triangle. Let me make it legitimate. If you're using wicks, candle wicks, right? The setup is right there. The setup is here. 10% or maximum like a 25. And then where are we at? 30, 25, 30. Okay, so that's exactly why this happened. And the uptrend just never stopped for 3 days, 2 days, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So seeking higher highs. So what I would be watching out for is just where's the resistance point. So obviously 30. 30, we zoom out. Okay, and then on the daily, you get all the left side. 30, like 28.60, just 60 cents above from where we are. 32.30. If it just goes nonstop, like 35.40 up. Okay, but then the intraday will really dictate, and we have multiple sessions too. So the next 24 to 48 hours, the intraday price will probably dictate where we're going, right? I'll be looking at this. Yeah. So there could be some serious room here for Adam, but no FOMO. You know what I mean? The best spot to buy was down here like 2 days ago. If it's already up here, it's much the risk is much higher, right? You're basically 20% up from the average, right? So there's much higher risk. It's just this setup was here. The setup was already there. So it's possible we could go 2 times the setup if somebody's super bullish to like 32, maybe. But I just want to I would be cautious about that because the setup is already done. Right, but it is 15-minute up cross, right? So there's a lot of things going on for this, but we're not at like a low support zone, low support zone on longer term time frames. So it is technically overbought, although there isn't some strong reversal signal right now. But as long as it's uptrending on shorter term time frames, like it's probably fine. The uptrend is probably fine. But once the 1 minute, 5 minute reverses and it stays down and we start fading down, then I would start getting concerned about these longer term time frames. So you can't really see anything on the daily. It's just one stick, one candle. But the Morningstar pattern is complete for now. All right, the next one, there's Algo as well. I traded Algo a couple days ago. Where's Algo? Algo. Okay, so different name, totally different name. Algorithm, Algo, USD, ALGO. All right, so what is going on with Algo? Next coin. Same deal, right? On the daily, there's an upside down head and shoulders right here. I mean, this happened on like everything. Upside down head and shoulders. Boom. Neckline. You can measure roughly maybe 15 to 20%. And where do we go? 100%. That sounds like crypto. Target's getting blown up to the upside. But what I would watch out for is it's kind of parabolic at this point because the trend line is not at trend line support anymore. And then you see this, the flash crash tested that trend line support. That's why anyone who was watching this said, wait a second, trend line support. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. And then just on a daily, that could be enough for like a swing trader to get in, or a daily, someone sensitive to daily chart. Also, breakout traders, if they love that, the breakout above 150 was the clue. But if we go inside, just those two setups is not really enough information, though. Those are just levels. But if you see here, 1 hour, the price didn't stop going up, trending. So this is the setup I was telling people yesterday. I went long 150, right? So where's the setup? We hit this resistance, okay? Resistance, boom, right there. And then hit that support to the downside. And then once those two levels were established, again, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. But then the trend change happened right here on this little triangle, the flag. Right, let's draw it. Right here, so you get the resistance level and then the support level, okay? Then someone could have just measured this 15%, 7 to 15%, and then we went double the target, we went 30%. The clue though for the continuation though was on the longer term time frame, the 1 hour chart is the price uptrending, higher high, higher low. So this was a very quick retest of 161 price. Then we didn't stop, right? So 15 minutes. If you want to bring up the EMA uptrend. So this is multi-session. This is multi-session, meaning like global session. So there's, America, America, Europe, Asia, America session. So, you know, all I would watch out for now at this point is, well, okay, it's been trending for so long, right? It's going to top out at some point. It can't go on forever. So I would watch the intraday for any kind of reversal signal to exit, right? So just a quick lesson here is, no FOMO. If we miss this one, if anybody misses one, then it's fine. We just move on, right? Because going long in the middle of the sky is always the most dangerous spot. It's always the most dangerous spot, right? Because it's better as a long to attempt this down here, this educational only, right? And even just target the top there. Probably would have got to stopped out maybe, but that was a 4-1, and it ended up turning to a 10-1, 8-1 trade. So if somebody tries to buy here, there's negative 40%, negative 33% risk to the downside. So that's a lot of risk, right? It's true we might go higher, right? But then just track the price on the intraday is what I'm saying. That's the key. We have a question here. This is a question. If someone wanted to move a certain amount of crypto profits into a more long-term, quote unquote, stable investment, what would be a good choice? Would it be gold for hypothetical educational purposes only? Hypothetically speaking. So crypto profits, well, what my mentor taught me is to only move not only, but if you have profits or discretionary income, is to only put it in something if it's better. Do you know what I mean? Like if it's going to make profits. So, for example, you know, which is the better asset right now, like Bitcoin or gold? So let's just see. The trend though for Bitcoin is we were in the short-term uptrend. Let me turn the EMA off. Short-term uptrend with a very strong pullback, right? Gold, if you just back-to-back switch the chart, gold has kind of been choppy, right? Gold is really not at the support level right now. If we look, right, draw the short-term one. It's just right in the middle of the intermediate. So gold could also fall 6% from where it is right now. If gold was right here, if there's this right here at the moment in time we're talking about, then actually that would be an interesting setup, right? Because you hit the support, double bottom support. That's an interesting setup. Here, I'm not seeing so much setup on the daily, right? If we're looking like long term. So sometimes the safest place is cash. Sometimes, like when there's nothing else, that's what my mentor taught me is for me to, as a trader analyst, to always look for, if I'm like a bull, is is there a better asset that's outperforming the market with a setup, like not just closing my eyes and buying anything, but sometimes it's safe to be cash. So there's that. I mean, if I could short every single asset on the planet, then there might be opportunities, right? Because if something goes long and it flips, you could just flip it, go short. But shorting is dangerous. So sometimes cash is the best place to go. So let's go to Tesla. Possible wedge on the daily. Somebody, Cabal USA. Okay, so possible wedge. Yes. Tesla. Right here. So for me, somebody could put this in, like close the price in right here. But for me, I try to get a little bit more. So let's see. It's probably this setup, right? Almost like gold and Bitcoin, right? So there was this setup first, and then we poked out of that descending triangle. So let's measure this really fast. 16 will bring us back to kind of that top side 831. If it goes double 32, which would bring us to the top, I'm on a log scale. Let me turn it off. So there's that resistance on the top side of Tesla, these two levels, 898 and 831. So also, again, I don't want to get too into bullish patterns. This is not really a head and shoulders because we're coming from an uptrend, right? Like we're going uptrend, so it's not really upside down head and shoulders. It's just, to me, this more just looks like trend reversal, like we've been talking about. Lower low, lower high, not a lower low, so double bottom, long term. Then it flipped here. This is the pivot point. Double bottom on this spot only, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So it's seeking the higher high. Where is that going to stop? It's just up to the market. Up to the market. And again, it's not a super relative low RSI. So, but always be prepared for downside risk because I just drew the resistance. What would be our support though? So our support would be if it falls back down like 724, 670, 636, 563, all these supports. And I draw a lot of supports just to future proof it for other people. Like if I just drew one line, if that breaks, then, kind of have to draw more lines for a stream. So, yeah, those are the basic two general zones I'll be watching out for Tesla. All we need to know is the uptrend, right? If we just look at this little blue purple line here and the white price, is the uptrend going to continue or not? Very simple, right? But if it is going to continue for Tesla, we probably do need a pullback, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So back testing this support 732 would be totally healthy. That's totally fine. It'll look bad on the charts, like for some people mentally, because it's red, right? So going long at this spot, right? It's all up to the intraday price. Use a 1 hour. That's kind of that middle ground for everybody. So you can see here the price. We just zoom in on this only, right? The uptrend. But we've been getting stuck here for 3 days, 2 days, right at 760, 760. So that's a little bit of a clue right there. A little bit of a clue. Could somebody, it depends on somebody's mindset too, because if somebody's a little bit biased, right, somebody might say, oh, it's a ascending triangle, so it's possible, right? But then for me, I want to see the breakout on big bull volume and continue up. But again, it matters about what this S&P 500 is going to do as well. Okay, so New York's coming back from lunch right now, so I'll try to end the stream soon. Does anybody have any requests for any chart, crypto or stocks, before we start wrapping up here? Yeah, thanks everyone so much for watching and following. It's always appreciated. Um, so yes, just got to be aware of the potential downside risk on anything, any asset. We do want to, last thing I'll say about Tesla though is we want to be a little careful because if we only look at and think about Tesla alone in its own little bubble, right? And if we have to not forget about Dow Jones and S&P, because if Dow Jones and S&P starts crashing, Tesla will probably pull back. Oh, my first name is Steve. I should probably write that somewhere at some point. All right, so let's see. Is there anything else we can look at? Let's see. Looked at a bunch of stocks, looked at a bunch of cryptos. Let me switch over to my stock watch list. Okay, actually we could go here. Go look at the I see. Let's end with GameStop because GameStop just had earnings yesterday, and then we had a crash into the rally of this morning. Very interesting price action. It was down negative 10% on the start of the day and it rallied. So 8%. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. All right, but what I want to draw on a daily is the longer term trend lines. Let me turn it to a log scale. Boom. Draw this here. There's going to be multiple trend lines. Okay, so this is what I was watching for on GameStop. The king of the meme stocks. All right, so it's possible we won't need these trend lines, but I'm just drawing it just in case visually for somebody to see. The bearish cases, right? Right, support. We've been holding 140 for months now. There's not much support above 40, so that's kind of a little bit stressful right there, right? If somebody's a trader, 120, and then there's just a drop, maybe 66, right? Probably 100. It's not a straight drop to 40, but there's a bunch of support down there. Okay, and then resistance is up top, 218, 267, 305, 354, the big top of like 400 to 500. But what's happening with the price on the white? So higher high, higher low. It was equilibrium right here, and then we had the breakout. So that's why that happened, this breakout. I remember that. That's the GameStop AMC breakout. Then we had it again. Here is we drew this resistance trend line on the top, right? And then we had another breakout into earnings. So it depends on what triangle we're using, okay? But this in itself, like even if you use Fibonacci just for short-term price range, okay, right into 618 and we bounce. So there's that as well. But for me, what I'm looking for is real trend possibility, right? I have to erase this for a second. Real trend possibility, because what is the price trend of GameStop actually? Starting from June, right? It was downtrend until right now. Lower low, lower low. Let me draw it. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, higher low. So there's that very, very sensitive trend change reversal right here. If you guys see that right there. And then it can be confirmed by the trend line breakout right there. So traders will watch one day up and boom, everyone's like, yes, broken. And then up 40%. I remember that. Flag to the side. One more rally test of support. Got rejected on the top side, falling down to a 50% 618 retrace after bad earnings. And now we're here for today. So if GameStop is going to actually flip its trend reversal, presuming we don't crash in the market, right? With the S&P, higher high, higher low, higher high. This could set the higher low pivot point. And so it's trying to seek maybe one more bounce, maybe 200. Right? So it's playing between 176 and 200 right now. But it's just one day. It's just one candle. It's just, did we finally get the trend reversal? And is it actually going to keep going up? That's questionable, right? You don't really hear so much hype about GameStop anymore these days. But if you do, the clue though, to answer that question intraday, the prices we're still under the 1 hour EMA. So it's not in an uptrend on the shorter term time frames. So there's the clue. This is not happening. It's here. So what needs to really happen is breakout, retest, and then really pummel through 200 price. Could it start? Maybe. That's why. But it's just at this point in time, it's one day. It's the first day of this happening. So we need to see. Okay, everybody. So I don't want to go too much into the trading day because stocks are moving again. So I think I'll call it here. Um, so again, thanks so much everybody for watching or following. This is educational only, and I try to do it at a earlier time for people in international time zones today. Um, Hope you enjoy this live stream. My social media links are in my profile, so we are streaming live right now to TradingView, YouTube, and Twitch. And we also have a free Discord for now, free Discord, and where I post a free watch list. And you could type requests in the Discord if you're not able to make the stream or if you miss a stream. So that's why I opened that there. And my ideas are in there as well. So that's a free Discord in my social profile. And hope everybody has a good trading week. There's only about 2 days left.